Hey, what's going on? Luke here. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about Brandon Smith. Yes, that is Melbourne Storm's Brandon Smith. As of right now, it could be different in about a week's time, could be tomorrow, could be a month's time, who knows. But for today's video, we're going to be talking about potential destinations. Now, I could sit here and I could talk about destinations. Realistically, I kind of want to sit here and talk about why the Bulldogs need him and why he should definitely pick the Bulldogs, but I'm only biased. Okay, you should go to the Bulldogs. We're going to be using Tier Maker, doing a bit of a tier list, and we're going to rank the teams that could use him / need him / is a good fit for him. So I'm going to take everything into account in terms of where he can make money, where he'd have a good career, that sort of stuff. I'm not just going to go, Bulldogs at number one. I'm kind of going to give a reason for it as well. So look, let's get into it. Also, I just want to mention, this was actually supposed to be yesterday's video, but the NRL, just a gift that keeps on giving. Look, it's Christmas time, lots of gifts being given. NRL, no different. They just had to go, well, actually, it's not really a gift. They went and just stuffed up all the rules. So, it is a stuff up, but hey, it was another video for me to do. So, yeah, let's get into the Brandon Smith tier maker video. Okay, so I've got just a random NRL logo sort of one tier list loaded up. What we're going to do, you can kind of get the gist of it on the screen. Obviously, you're just going to be dragging some logos, and at the top's going to be the better ones, and we'll go further down. So I think the first one to do, we're obviously going to be ruling out the Melbourne Storm. We'll chuck them in the D list. They definitely don't need them, and I think we'll try and work our way up. Work up the list, but maybe we can go through individually. I don't know. I might have to stuff around with it at the end too, but Look, realistically, the Broncos could use him, but I don't know. I'm going to chuck him in the A category. So just a tier below. Not really the superstar Brandon Smith category. Where do we chuck him? Cowboys, they don't need him. I don't think they've got. What's his name? They've got Granville, and they've also got Robson as well. So I think Robson's their future. Granville can also do a job for him. They don't really need them. Roosters, I feel like they're pretty covered. They've got like 3 pretty solid first grade hookers. Even you add in Radley as well, you could chuck him in as a hooker. So I'd put them in D category. They definitely don't need them. They're with the Storm. You know what, realistically, let's just say Storm. They're D by himself, but Roosters may as well be there too. They're not going to sign him, nor could they afford to sign him as far as I'm aware. I don't know. Scott Flanagan surely wasn't on that much money. Titans though. Titans are a big one. I think they're a really, really good chance. I think they're in that S category. And while we're at it, I think we'll just chuck in the Bulldogs there too. I think Bulldogs are a big chance as well. Apparently got money to throw around. There's been talked about the war chest and that sort of stuff. Made a couple signings, but no sort of huge. I suppose Kotrick's kind of up there, but in terms of other signings, it's like, Flanagan was kind of a throwaway from the Roosters. Hetherington's kind of a youngster coming through. A lot of youngsters, no big outright superstars. So if you can land a Brandon Smith, I would say he's getting up to that superstar level, and probably not right there now, but I definitely think he's capable of. We've seen him in international games. He's definitely capable. And therefore, Titans, we're talking about Bulldogs haven't signed stars. Titans definitely have. I don't know how much cap space they've got. I don't know how they have cap space, considering the contracts they've thrown around and they've offered. But yeah, look, Titans apparently being talked about. They could do with a hooker. Mitch Ryan and that. They're kind of serviceable first grade hookers, but I definitely wouldn't go as far as to say that they're particularly good players. They're kind of just, like I said, serviceable, just decent players. And look, with a good team around them, they can be decent. But look, Brandon Smith, definite upgrade. The Knights, I'm just looking at the Knights now. They've got Brayley. I mean, they're a team who could realistically probably do with him. I mean, Brandon Smith can sort of fit into any position we've seen. So even realistically for all the teams, I keep saying realistically, but all the teams could actually use him. It's just a matter of he wants to be a hooker. So Knights, I think they signed Brayley, and they've got Kurt Mann, a few of those guys. I'd put them in the C category as well. They're right up there in terms of not needing them. Dragons are another one. Ben Hunt, Cameron McInnes, I'd chuck them there as well. They definitely don't need them. Raiders, another one. Don't need him. Josh Hudson, Tom Starling, they just re-signed Starling, so he's obviously highly regarded there. Panthers, I would say that at best he'd be like a bench player. It could be a good utility for him, but we're talking you're not going to beat Coruscant. So they're another one. I would chuck him in there. Well, it's a bit laggy for me, but we'll see. Warriors are somewhere that I feel like I think he said he doesn't want to play for the Warriors. I think that part's been pretty clear. So I'm going to chuck them in with the Storm. I think Warriors were like the only team that didn't get an email or something. So I think he's made it pretty clear he doesn't want to play for the Warriors. I think he was like a junior at the Warriors. I think he was in the junior system before going to the Storm. So something must have happened. I think he's lost with the Cowboys too, so could have went home, but I just don't see it happening. Parramatta, they got Reed Mahoney there. I don't see it happening. But then, who knows? Reed Mahoney, he's like a pretty solid player, but I mean he's on the cusp of Origin, I guess. But I'll chuck him in there. There's a lot of teams in there. There's no like real B category. Maybe I'll chuck in the Sharks there. I'll chuck in the Sharks in at the B category, just because they're kind of like a middle one. They are a bit of a smoky. They do have Blake Brayley. There we go. Bit of a tongue twister there. He's been okay. Obviously, the brother of Jaden. Jaden was there, and then they sort of groomed him to come along and take over from him. Slash Jaden just left, and then they were like, "Well, shit, we'll chuck him in." But Brandon Smith definitely an upgrade. It's just I'm not sure what their cap space is like. I know they've lost a lot of players, a lot of experienced players over the years, and I can't really think of too many big names signing. I mean, Jesse Ramian was there. Sean Johnson was a couple of years ago. You got Moylan Dugan. Surely one of them will be off contract pretty soon. I'm sure they could probably will and deal a few players to land Brandon Smith if they needed to, but they're not a team I've heard talked about. So I'll chuck them in the B just because I think they're the most suitable. Rabbitohs will chuck in the C. Damien Cook. Well, no, let's chuck him in the D. Damien Cook's not going to get done by Brandon Smith there. West Tigers are a bit of a smoky here. Don't really have a great hooker. Obviously, just had Harry Grant, the guy who's gone back to Melbourne. Essentially, the reason Brandon Smith's on the move. Also, Cameron Smith is a big factor in it. I think that's where the Titans. That's a big if for the Titans. It all depends on Cameron Smith, whether they want to try and get him, or do they just go with Brandon Smith and set himself up long term, or do they want the short term success of Cameron Smith? You think he's only going to be there 1 or 2 years? But the Tigers, on the other hand, they definitely could use Brandon Smith. We saw that Harry Grant was really, really good for them, and then when he went down injured, they showed literally nothing. But you chuck in Brandon Smith there, at least he's going to have energy. He's going to be able to get them going. And he's not the most skillful, but I feel like he's someone who could fit in with that Tiger side. And we saw Harry Grant, he's got a lot of fanfare at the Tigers. Tigers got pretty good fans. He was leading the Dally M's. Now, I'm talking about Harry Grant a lot. Obviously, Brandon Smith, different player. But just in terms of being a cult hero and that sort of stuff, I feel like he could fit in well for the Tigers. Going to be losing Benji Marshall. Could become a bit of the face of the club. So I feel like in that sense, it could be a good move for him. But yeah, I feel like he's obviously Tigers. I would say above Broncos, but I don't think they're kind of up to the standards of the Titans, Bulldogs in terms of what they can offer. I feel like they're just a little bit different. Titans, I'll say Bulldogs. I feel like are the best suited for him, so I'll chuck them there. But just in terms of the Titans, Bulldogs, I feel like the Titans have got the better team, but Bulldogs got the better. The better offer. If that makes sense. Like, Titans got a lot of good players around them, but he's going to go in there. He's not going to be the star of the team. And also, I feel like the money would be better on the Bulldogs as well. In terms of what they can offer, upgrades, that sort of stuff. Realistic Titans, they've just signed Dave Fafita, Tino, you add in all the others, Brimsons and that. They're the stars of the Titans. Brandon Smith would be a star, but he's not going to be the star. He has a good season, especially in a year. He's played his first real season at hooker. There's room for upgrades at the Bulldogs, probably not at the Titans. But we've actually got our final team. I should actually get onto that. Manly, Warringah Sea Eagles. Where do we chuck them? Actually, has been a little bit of talk they could use him. Obviously, Fainu. Is that how you say it? Fainu. Who knows whether he's even going to play again. And the hook position definitely being a big problem for him. How much money... and the cap is always a talking point for Manly because of Cherry Evans, because of the Trbojevic brothers. I think they take up like a huge part of their salary cap. But the rest of the side, they're not exactly superstars. I mean, Forum wouldn't have signed for heaps. And yeah, the rest of the side, it's not like they've got superstar props or centers. They just lost Fanua Blake, and they've signed the LIA from the Tigers, but you'd think either similar contracts or less. So not really losing anything there. You got Marty Tapau, he's probably the most high-profile player apart from the Trbojevics and Cherry Evans, but I actually think they're a pretty good chance. I'd rate them above the Broncos, but not as high as the Tigers. So that's the tier list. I've got the Bulldogs as the favourites, but there's quite a few teams. From C to D, I would say pretty much no chance of signing. Although they could use him, I feel like just no chance they're going to sign him. Even Roosters, I could chuck him in the D. I mean, Radley's essentially another version of him. You can play in multiple positions, play hooker, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'll chuck in the Roosters for D as well. I think they're no chance. Plus, they can't afford him. But yeah, the rest of them, those sort of top 5, 6, I think they're a chance. But I think it's going to come down to the Bulldogs and Titans. And personally, as a Bulldog supporter, I definitely hope that Brandon Smith signs with the Bulldogs. But would not be surprised if he signs with Titans, Tigers, Manly. Broncos, probably not. I'll chuck the Broncos in at bloody beaks. They actually do have a couple hookers there. McCullough's back. They've got Turpin. There's probably some other guys who are in there are capable of playing it as well. So chuck them in the B category as well. So we've got 2 each there. But yeah, they're the 6 that I can only really see him going to, just purely out of money and just his desire to play hooker. But yeah, he could do a job for any of the teams. Guys, leave in the comment section below, where do you think Brandon Smith's going to end up? Do you think my tier list is any good? Would you agree or disagree with anything here? Let me know in the comment section below. And guys, that's where I'm going to end the video. Thanks for watching. If you did happen to enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bells. It is hugely important for the channel, especially over Christmas. Heaps of people uploading. So I'd love for you guys to be notified when I've actually uploaded. Click on the video, watch it straight away. Done deal. It's all done. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. Just Mr. Luke on Facebook. It's in the description below if you just want to go and click on them. But guys, that's where I'm going to end the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.